Welcome to Module 2 of our course, Conquer Procrastination. Now that you understand what procrastination is, how it impacts our lives, and you've identified the areas where you procrastinate, let's move on to the reasons we procrastinate. Again, make sure you've downloaded the follow-along guide I provided you for this course. So why do we procrastinate? Here are 3 reasons we often hear. 1, I work better under pressure. 2, I have no willpower. And 3, I'm just not motivated yet. Guess what? These are lies we tell ourselves. Here's the first lie. I work better under pressure. This is the most common excuse from people who procrastinate on their work. They'll say, I'm more creative under pressure. But years of research shows this is rarely true. When working under pressure, people suffer greater stress, make more mistakes, and often have to redo their work. The truth is, when we're up against a deadline, we don't do a better job. We just get the job done because we have no choice. The external pressure is so great, we cannot avoid the task anymore. Some people say they love working against the clock. They feel energized, pulling all-nighters, living on coffee and junk food. They love the adrenaline rush, and they do get the task done. The problem is, this high gives them a false sense of confidence. It reinforces the belief that they can do anything last minute, that procrastination pays off. This belief reinforces the cycle of procrastination. So please stop using this excuse. Here's the second lie we tell ourselves to explain our procrastination. I have no willpower. I just can't help myself. I have no discipline. If you believe that about yourself, it is a handy excuse to avoid taking action. The truth is, we all have willpower. The old school of thought was that willpower came in short supply, that we each had a limited reservoir that could be depleted. Now we're finding out that this belief is not only not true, but also detrimental to our progress. It gives us a handy excuse to procrastinate. And the latest research shows that willpower may act more like an emotion. Just like we don't run out of anger or run out of joy, willpower ebbs and flows based on what's happening to us and how we feel. So it's really important that you stop believing that you have no willpower or that your willpower is in short supply. That's going to set you up for procrastination. Here's the third lie we tell ourselves to explain our procrastination. I'm just not motivated yet. Many of us think we have to get the right feelings before we get started. We have to get excited and energized. Then the time will be right to begin. But that's not how it works. We're rarely motivated to do tasks we don't enjoy or we're scared of. As we know, tedious and scary stuff is just part of life. So it makes sense that we're avoiding it. And no, we will not feel like doing it tomorrow. And if we push things off to tomorrow long enough, we'll eventually be under the gun and wish we'd started yesterday or a week ago. Okay, so we've talked about the 3 excuses we use to justify our procrastination. 1, I work better under pressure. 2, I have no willpower. 3, I am not motivated yet. And remember, these are lies we are telling ourselves. Okay, so let's take a look at the variety of reasons we actually procrastinate. Procrastination is all about avoiding difficult feelings. It makes sense that we'd avoid tasks that run the risk of making us feel bad. So let's look at the feelings that often cause us to procrastinate. A common one is, we don't feel like tackling the task right now. The truth is, we usually don't procrastinate on fun, enjoyable tasks. Instead, many of us put off tedious or boring tasks. They feel like chores. The number one thing people procrastinate on? Paperwork. Like paying bills, filing taxes, or submitting expense reports. There are many other tasks that probably feel tedious to most of us, like calling to schedule a doctor's appointment, cleaning our home, getting an oil change. So we avoid these boring tasks and choose to do things that'll be more fun and entertaining, like binge watching a show or shopping online or calling a friend. But that pleasure is short-lived and the task doesn't go away. Here's another common feeling that causes us to procrastinate on a task. We feel anxious about the task. Maybe we're afraid of failure. We think, what if I start a business and it tanks? Maybe we're worried about judgment. We think, what will people say if I let my hair go gray? Maybe we're nervous about possible consequences. We think, What if having this difficult conversation with my friend causes a rift between us? Maybe we're perfectionists and it feels safer to keep the goal in our minds, but never actually make it a reality because the end result is not likely to be as good as our fantasy. We think, what if I join a dating app and don't meet the love of my life? Often, our anxiety means we don't end up getting started at all. But avoiding the task doesn't mean the anxiety goes away. If anything, it only grows. Another reason we might procrastinate on a task is that we feel inadequate. We're not confident we can get the task done right or done at all. This is common with those of us who have low self-esteem. We just don't believe in our abilities. It's also where imposter syndrome shows up, the belief that sooner or later we'll be found out for the fraud we really are. And when we feel inadequate, chances are we won't work on the task and we'll continue to feel badly about ourselves, maybe even worse. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Another common reason we procrastinate is we feel too overwhelmed by the task. Maybe it just feels too big in terms of the scope of the task, like sorting through decades of old paperwork. We just don't know where to get started. Maybe the task is difficult for us, so we're not sure how to go about it, like starting a podcast. The higher the level of difficulty, the more likely we are to procrastinate. So we're paralyzed into inactivity, and the task remains on our list. Another reason we might procrastinate is because we are confused about what exactly we're supposed to be doing. Maybe we have a goal we want to get started on, but we've made it so vague that we're not clear on exactly how to pursue it. Like maybe our goal is get fit. Maybe we can't decide on an approach or stick with it, like which exercise routine to adopt or which eating plan to try. Again, we procrastinate. In some cases, we might feel we don't deserve the payoff we might receive for doing the task. This is a form of self-sabotage. For example, we might delay applying for a new job, even though we know it would be a great opportunity because we fear that we don't deserve to be in a better place in our lives. So we don't do it, and we never give ourselves the chance to succeed. Sometimes it's about the timing, and we believe there's no hurry to complete the task. The deadline's far off, so there's plenty of time to get the task done. We tell ourselves, it's too late in the day and I'm too tired to start now, or there's just too much on my plate right now, or there's another opportunity right now I just cannot pass up. We focus on today with the false assumption that things will be different tomorrow, and when tomorrow comes, nothing has changed until that deadline is now right in front of us. This procrastination due to a lack of urgency can be true of small chores like paying bills, but it can also show up on tasks that we won't feel the negative consequences of until later. Think about not exercising in our youth because we don't have to worry about heart health until, of course, this catches up with us later in life. Finally, we might be procrastinating on a task because we're just too tired or down to do it. Maybe it's the end of the day and we're frankly too physically, mentally, or emotionally exhausted to tackle the task. We don't have the energy to deal with it. Of course, in some cases, depression can be the culprit, since it's been shown to lead to issues such as fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and a reduced interest in activities. If you suspect that you are depressed, please seek the help of a mental health provider. All right, so we looked at the 8 main reasons we procrastinate on a task. We feel resistant to doing it, anxious about it, inadequate to do it, overwhelmed by it, confused about it, undeserving of potential success, no hurry to get it done, too tired or down to tackle it. Overarching all these reasons for procrastination is the natural human desire to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Let's say we feel anxious or undeserving. I know I should revamp my resume to apply for that perfect job, but let me check my Facebook feed instead. Let's say we resist dealing with a chore. I know I should go home after work and finish my taxes, but my colleagues are going out for drinks and you only live once. The bottom line is we procrastinate because we're human, and our human brain avoids pain and seeks pleasure. For your Module 2 assignment, you'll be sorting your procrastination tasks based on the feeling those tasks elicit in you. Make sure you've downloaded the follow-along guide that comes with this course. That's where you'll find all the details of this module's assignment. And when you're ready, move on to Module 3.